Hola guys and girls, and welcome to the first and maybe even only transaction video regarding the Season 8 of GBA. I hinted at a lot of points. You probably saw already the transaction video on the GBA channel, but I want to talk myself about it a bit more in detail because of course I did tell Aaron why I traded all this good stuff, but he can't go as much in detail because there were so many trades in this first week. So yeah, of course I want to give my own thoughts and yeah, basically go more in detail. That's the whole reason. But yeah, like you know, we traded Yanmega, Shaman, and Mega Absol for Delphox, Lurantis, and Mega Manectric. And let me start with the beginning. I don't know why I even want to trade. So that I want to trade, that was not really a too big a secret. I hinted a lot, be it on Twitter, be it in my comment section, or be it in my fan Discord server. I have my own, by the way, as well by now. So if you want to join that, a link to that is probably in the description. Yeah, I can probably put it in each GBA video. But what the whole thing was around my trades, basically the first idea I already had immediately after draft is that I probably want to get rid of one of my dark types, because one, they further my my fighting weakness, which was around my team. Like, I had some resist, but overall my team was still pretty weak to fighting, and my resists were like Yanmega, which doesn't take like taking rock hits. Rocks in general, like Stealth Rocks, like even if it's resist to fighting move, I switch to Stealth Rocks, basically the move to 50%, and then Yanmega, not Yanmega, the Gengar, which doesn't take hits pretty well. So Tornadoes is like a decent rock fighting resist, but it has the rock means as well. So that is one thing, and of course doubling down on typing is not too good, usually, because usually you would only bring one of the two, because yeah, you already have your Mon and you have other spots to fill as well, so they compete for the same spot on the team. Which is in team building kind of annoying that you bring the one more than the other one. So I rather want to have another Mon in that spot. And what I want to, like, that's the thing I want to give away. One of my dark types, be it Mega Absol or Crocodile. And what I want to gain is either an electric or a fire type. Because, like you probably know in the divisions already, I had a fire electric type before in the draft, which was already a weakness, because like fighting is electric type is a flying resist, and the fire type in general would complete my fire water grass core, which, like I already talked in my draft in this video, is not too important, but of course it's still nice to have a fire type in general. Like offensive fire types are very nice and stuff like that. So the main reason I want to one of those at least, or best case scenario 2, is because I ended up in the same division as Jolt. And he's actually my week 2 opponent this week, so that's why I did make this changes at the beginning. And he has, if you may have known, a Celesteela. And have you tried taking down a Celesteela without an electric or fire type, basically with nothing, which has the stab effective move with it? Yeah, not a good time. So I definitely want at least one of those, so I have something to combat the Celesteela. Since it's my division, I have to face him twice, so I think a trade regarding matchup is actually pretty nice on that. And of course the general benefit of having multiple different types on the draft is, of course, always nice. And fast electric types, you all know how good they are in draft format, and fire types, like I said, they do the core, and fire is nice in general to take on steel mons better, which like stop my Q in black and all this good stuff. So this is a nice synergy, barring the matchup, but the matchup was which inspired me to even look at the draft and was like, oh damn, I need to change something, otherwise I get wrecked by this, and that's when I saw some other options as well, which you can see right here. So let's talk about the first trade at all. You see on screen right here, you see all three of them, but the one on the top is I traded Yanmega for Delphox, and this trade hurt me a lot. It did hurt me a lot. I wanted to try Yanmega more than just week 1. In week 1 it already did a lot of work, and I didn't really want to part with it. But getting Delphox was just way too good for my team. It gives me psychic types as well. I keep a fighting resist through that. And Delphox with Z moves is arguably better than Yanmega with Z moves. Delphox has way more coverage, has way more even status options for Z status moves, be it Sunny Day or some other fancy stuff. I don't want to go much into detail. So that was already the fire type I got. Like Yanmega, I could have kept that and just did the other 2 trades. But in the end, I think it's better to just have the fire type on the team in Delphox and a psychic type as well. Which helps with Jolt's Mega Venusaur as well, just looking at the next matchup. I didn't look at all the matchups, like Jolt is of course the only matchup I have in mind right now, because I am just team building right now for him. But yeah, Yanmega, sad to see you go. I would have loved to keep you more around. Like you see, I used already all of my free agent moves, so barring someone picks Yanmega up and I can trade like with him because we have unlimited trades, Yanmega won't be coming back to the Borussia Donphan sadly, but he will be on my list for future drafts and future seasons. I definitely want Yanmega to have more on the squad, but sadly, since I didn't draft the most optimal team, I have to say myself, like being last on the draft was a bit tougher than I thought. I wanted to be last, actually said in the beginning, I prefer last or first. It's one of the two because I want the wheel, but being last in 16-man draft and having the maximum amount of picks, like having the 15 coaches there, 15 coaches back, so 30 picks go before you you can choose again. That basically grants a lot of snipes to happen, and that is what kind of screwed me kind of in the draft, but that's why I have 2 dark types as well. So sadly, Mega has to go because I couldn't draft the best way. And yeah, he will definitely come back. I'm sad to see you go, Pilot Senior. But Delphox, I had them already in GBC Season 1 or Season 2, I want to say. And Delphox is a great mon. I like it a lot. A lot of more support moves in Will-O-Wisp as well. So yeah, I'm happy to use Delphox, happy to use it as a Z-mover. And let's talk about the next pair of trades, because they go hand in hand, these next trades. Like I said, I want to get rid of one of my dark types, either get a fire and electric type. I already got a fire type, so I want to get an electric type. The 2 dark types I can get rid of are Mega Absol or the Crocodile. Megas you can trade this season for the first time, so I don't have to get rid of Crocodile. Looking at potential trades for Crocodile, if I get rid of Crocodile, I don't have a ground type anymore. So I would have to not only get an electric type, like what I wanted initially, I would have to do another trade as well to get a good ground type to compensate that what I lost. Good ground types which are still left on the board. For example, Nidoqueen in tier 2, I could have traded that for Gengar. Then in tier 5, I would have to pick up Mudstail potential for Garbodor, which would have a potential one as well. And yeah, these are like the 2 main ones. In tier 3, like I couldn't trade Crocodile for Nidoking, because then I wouldn't gain an electric type. Like the good electric type I could have gotten for Crocodile was, for example, Galvantula, which would have been 5. Like Sticky Web with Pure and Black sounds very scary. So that was another option I had on the board. But in the end, like, if I, like, getting Crocodile for Galvantula and then trading Gengar for Nidoqueen would have, in general, sounds like a good deal. I would have made that, but the problem is, since I trade already Yanmega with the Z-moves to Delphox with Z-moves, I would lose all my Z-points on the Gengar, because if you don't know, you can only change, or, like, grant your full Z-points back 1 time, and that's what I did. I got the points from Yanmega, gave it to Delphox. If I would trade Gengar away, I would lose my Z-points. I would have Nidoqueen on the team, but I would just lose out on all these fancy Z-points, and I would only, quote-unquote, only have Delphox as my Z-move user, so that kind of didn't make me want to do that. And if I trade Garbodor for Mudstail, I lose out on all the other hazards, like I lose out on Spikes, I lose out on Toxic Spikes. I would get another Stealth, or I would lose Stealth Rocker and gain a Stealth Rocker, but I would lose out on all the other hazards, so that was not something I was too happy about. So I looked at what can I get for my, if I trade the other dark type away, and of course I would have to get a Mega then, and the only electric type Mega which was still on the board because Mega Ampharos got drafted is Mega Manectric. To get Mega Manectric, I need 40 points, because Mega Manectric of course is a tier 1 Mega, Mega Ampharos is a tier 2 Mega. So I had to look at someone to basically quote-unquote downgrade to gain these 40 points, and the options were, once again, to downgrade, for example, my Cobalion for tier... I needed something to downgrade from tier 4 to tier 3, because tier 4 to tier 5 doesn't give me enough points. Tier 1 to tier 2 would give me enough points, but there was nothing in tier 2 where I wanted to trade with Pure and Black Tapu Fini. And like I said, I only have one tier 2 to tier 3. I wouldn't get, it would only get me 20 points, so that wouldn't work as well. So I had to be something from tier 3 to tier 4, because I don't want to get a Pure and Black or Tapu Fini for something in tier 2. My options were once again Crocodile, which of course I know what to keep since I get rid of my Dark type. Then the other option was to get rid of Cobalion for another Steel type in tier 4. But there was no good Steel type left in tier 4, like nothing I really wanted to use. I don't even know if there even was Steel type left in tier 4, so that was gone right away. So I looked at Shaman and getting rid of... Oh, and Tornadus of course was another option. He was in tier 3 as well. I could have gotten rid of Tornadus. But replacements for Tornadus were rare, but there was a decent or good replacement for Shaman in Lurantis. Lurantis I traded away for Shaman. Of course, the downgrade, Shaman is arguably better than Lurantis, I agree to that. But like I said, I had to downgrade so I can upgrade my Mega. And Lurantis is still very nice because this gen what it got is 2 moves. It got Superpower and Knockoff, making it nice to use in a physical contrary set, like same as Malamar basically with Superpower around. It gives me another hazard remover. Of course, it has Counter Leaf Storm and all this good stuff, and Aerotherapy and all this good stuff. It is a very bulky grass type. It is slower, it has less coverage, but it has better potential to run mix as Shaman, even though the stats aren't as good because Shaman just has basically no physical coverage. And it gives me another hazard remover as well, so that is very nice. So that's basically the plan around that. Downgrade my grass type so I can upgrade my Mega to Mega Manectric. So let's talk a bit more about Mega Manectric. I love Mega Manectric. I had him a lot in these draft tournaments you all heard about, where you have a smaller team and you have very short amount of time of team building. Manectric is great in general in draft, I think, because it's one of the electric types with fire coverage. And in most scenarios, in 80% of scenarios, the electric check of your opponent will be a grass type to resist the moves, because ground types even though some of them are bulky, most of them don't have lateral recovery. Like grass types often have synthesis or something like that, so they can be a reliable electric check, whereas ground types, they just get worn down with like a hidden power ice, grass knot, or whatever the coverage is your electric type has. So in most case scenarios, the grass type is the check, but if you have a fire type with fire coverage, electric type with fire coverage, be it Lego Magnetic, be it Step Striker, be it, what else? Or like Tapu Koko, for example, with Brave Bird. These are all very non-electric types. Magnetic, of course, being probably after Tapu Koko the best one, which fits into that category. And Intimidate is very nice. It gives me actually a flying resist now. Of course, not the bulkiest one, but I can take some physical flying hits with like Intimidate and all this good stuff. And it's very fast. It gives me now, it's now a fastest mod on the team. Before that, it was Mega Absolute 115. Now I have Mega Magnetic with 135. Yeah, 135 is correct. So it will be, in most matches, will be the fastest mod on the team, barring Scarfast, which is very nice. Force my opponent to bring a Scarf, then I can bring another Scarf on my team to outspeed that once again. Of course, coverage-wise, Mega Electric has not too much to offer. It's mostly running the 4 same moves, like Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, then Flamethrower, Overheat, and then added Hidden Power. It has some other nice moves, which I actually managed to use. In some cases, I use Mega Magnetic, so I don't want to go too much in detail of that, but these are like the main things you use Mega Magnetic. Maybe a Slap Signal Beam on that. But yeah, that's basically the whole reason I want to talk about this. Basically, I want to gain a Fire or Electric type. I actually end up gaining both, and these are the best trades before I couldn't get left up. I talked about some coaches with like some trading, but there was nothing really people want to give away to me, which the stuff they want to get away or give to me, I was not a fan of that, so I had to resort to a free agency. But yeah, that is all for this video. Of course, let me know your opinion in the comments. Did you think it was a good trade? What should I have done different? Like all the other options I talked about, what do you think would have been a better trade? And yeah, do you think these mons will perform well? And of course, what I of course need, as usual, nicknames for these 3 mons. Delphox, Lurantis, Mega Magnetic. We say farewell to Yanmega Shaman and Mega Absol, both great mons, Mega Emo, Sanic, and Pilot Senior. Sad to see you go, but we welcome, of course, warmly is that even a word, in Borussia Donphan now, Delphox, Lurantis, and Mega Magnetic. Like I said, give me nicknames in the description. That is all for this video. Hit me on Twitter, Facebook, all the links in the description, and I will see you another time. Ciao!